shores of old Lake Erie stands our alma mater true. Fredonia state we proudly honor, with its colors white and blue.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, Reflections of Fredonia. Let me first introduce myself. I am Jack Croxton, a former faculty member here at the college in the Department of Psychology. I taught here for over 40 years. Well, once I retired, I began to think about what do I want to do now? And it got me thinking about all of the wonderful students I had a chance to interact with during my tenure here at Fredonia. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to maybe get in touch with some of those students and have them talk a little bit about what they've been doing since they graduated, also to talk a little bit about their undergraduate careers here, and to share any advice that they might have about what new students might want to do when they come to Fredonia. We're operating from the Fredonia radio systems, the student-run radio station right here on campus.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe Kowalik. I graduated from Fredonia in May of 2024, and while I was a student, I double majored in journalism and psychology, and I had minors in English and political science, and I'm going back to Fredonia in fall 2025 for grad school.
For today's podcast, we have a very special guest. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself by telling us your name and when you graduated from Fredonia.
Hi, my name is Serene Lazaro. I am an FRS alum as well as a Fredonia State alum of 2011. I was the station manager here and in between 2011 and 2010, yeah.
What did you study while you were here as a student?
I was a public relations major and an arts administration minor.
Oh, cool. Interesting. So we've had a lot of guests kind of come from different backgrounds and different places. So we're really interested in, what made you want to come to Fredonia?
I am from Buffalo, New York, originally, small town, Depew, New York, actually. And I knew I wanted to be out of Buffalo. I wanted to be a little away, but it was nice that I could still go home on weekends or for big events because I was very close to my family. So it was like the best of both worlds. And then I really liked the radio station program, even though I didn't want to major in radio. It was just like a nice outlet and as well as just be part of like a community.
For sure. I actually went to Depew High School, so I know exactly where you're talking about. That's awesome. So super cool.
I didn't go to Depew High School. I did go to St. Mary's High School, so close. But
yeah, it's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So what are some of your fondest memories of being a student at Fredonia?
Hands down, it's my time here at the radio station. It was where I spent 90% of my time, to be 100% honest with you. As a faculty member, you probably will hate this, but I probably spent more time here than I ever did in class. But to be 100% honest with you, it's probably the things that I did here and learned and participated that I use in my everyday career than I did in a classroom. Don't get me wrong, I had fantastic professors like Ann Carden, Mike Barone, people like that who really paved the way and gave us like great foundation. But it was some of the more practical things that I had to learn here, being in leadership here on the executive board, having to be at a weekly meeting, being responsible for huge budgets, especially that it was the radio station, TV, and I think they were called Spectrum or something was the other one that had the three largest budgets in the entire campus that we were solely responsible as students, that it was like kind of freaky that you were put in charge of all of this money and all this responsibility, and you had to step up or there were a lot of consequences, especially with the there's the digital and then the analog side of being, sued by the CDC and all of that. It was a really eye-opening moment, and you had to be on. And I just loved this time here. I met some friends that I still talk to and spend time today with, and they just were great leaders, even as peers, and I just loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah, were there any like certain shows or maybe any events that you liked participating in when you were at the station?
I loved throwing our annual fundraiser to raise money for Roswell Cancer Institute, Rockin' in the Commons, and it was my first experience running a huge format event from start to finish, and being able to raise money for such a great cause. And to come full circle in my full career, I am now run a major campaign for the company I work for that raises money for Roswell Cancer Institute now. So it's kind of this full circle thing that I got to participate in. But in addition, I hosted my own weekly show, and then I also produced a historic show that was pretty popular at the time, called Lover Call, and I enjoyed doing all of that too.
Yeah, that's really cool that you kind of came full circle working, raising money for Roswell.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's still an event that happens today too.
Is it?
So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's, so 2 years ago would have been the 20th annual or something like that.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's still going. They're doing it again in the fall. They just did it this past year. So
It's so much work, but it was so worth
yeah.
it.
It is a
So
lot of
worth it.
work.
Yes. And again, go back to those practical skills that I worked a job. I did nothing but like event planning for large scale. And I just knew what I was doing because I had the foundation from working and doing this. So it was cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned briefly career. Could you tell us a little bit more about your career trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. I currently work as a marketing generalist for Reed Petroleum and Crosby's. They kind of work hand in hand as like a blanketed company. Reed Petroleum has been around for 103 years. It's a fourth generation owned family business. And in addition, they have convenience stores called Crosby's. And we have a robust food and a pizza and sub program that we're working to get out in the community. We're in a lot of rural areas. We're actually up the road here in Fredonia. And I do all the day-to-day marketing for both companies. So I handle everything from website updates to branding awareness campaigns. And we have 3 major giving campaigns that are part of the community and our core values of the company. And that's one for Raising for Roswell, one for Cystic Fibrosis. And we also raise money for the Patricia Allen Foundation as well.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to say, my grandkids said that their favorite pizza comes from Crosby's.
Yes.
So
It's the
I'll
chicken
get
wing
that-
pizza.
I'll get that plug in right now.
I love to hear it.
And in response now, do you have some connections? Could I get a few free coupons for some pizza
I'll
from
see what I can
Crosby's?
do. I'll see what I can do. We have some things coming up for the summer, and that there's gonna be opportunities.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's nice because we have a Crosby. I live about a block and a half
Yeah,
from the
and
Crosbys in Fredonia.
absolutely. That one makes some really good pizza too. They're one of our top performing stores.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure in a college town with college kids, always want,
Yeah.
for sure.
We have breakfast pizza too, so you can eat even pizza
Oh,
for
there you
breakfast.
go.
Come on.
There
This
we
is
go.
definitely the market for it, for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But previous to that, I also did marketing for the second largest law firm in Buffalo, New York, Lippis Mathias. I worked there for quite a few years, and that's where I did a lot of my event planning and used a lot of my more practical skills that I learned here at Fredonia and at FRS.
That's awesome.
Now I have to ask again now, if I get into any kind of legal hot water,
I
do
might
you have
know-
any connections
I
there?
might have somebody I can send you to. I can't make any promises though.
Okay.
So kind of jumping off of this, you already mentioned those skills that you kind of had started, you learned at FRS, you learned while you were a student here, and you kind of carried them over to your career. So I guess I kind of know the answer to this one, but do you think that your time at Fredonia helped shape your career and where you are today?
100%. The school being the size it is, allowed me to be participant in this. I did other clubs and stuff. I apparently I really liked to raise money in college. I also worked for this. I already did this. It was called Interactive Theater Society, and we would take there's a path through the Ring Road forest over there, and we would take it over and make a huge haunted house out of it. And it was like Terror in the Trees, it was called. And you'd walk through, and there'd be all things along the trail that would scare the heck out of you. And we raised money for Make-A-Wish Foundation to do that. So, I was able to do that. I was able to take my classes, and I was able to be station manager or, do news and do shows. And I really got to participate and see anything I wanted, like any, show. I still had time. So I think just the skills I learned from, again, professors and this place and everything, and then on top of it just being the size, I was never felt pushed out because there wasn't room for me. There was always room for me.
They still do the Terror in the Trees.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, my life is just being blown right now. I figure some of these things had to have fallen off by now.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Lover Call's still going, Terror in the Trees, Rockin' the Commons, it's all the
right,
same
yeah.
stuff.
Ah, I love it. Some things change, and some do not. I'm learning this.
Wow, you have quite a legacy here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first year we did it. So it literally
wow.
has
That's so
been
cool.
yeah, a friend of mine still to this day, he started it, and he graduated with the he was Halloween entertainment science was his actual major he graduated with here.
Wow.
Yeah, he built his own major. That is what he graduated with. He then started a business. He started a couple now, and he's still awesome dude. Has a popular game up in Buffalo that he sells, and so I really want to tell him that still goes on. I don't think he knows.
No, you should definitely tell him. That's awesome.
You'll
Yeah.
have to come down next year and go in there again.
Absolutely, I will. Now I have Halloween plans too.
There you
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Well, any advice you would like to give to new students coming into Fredonia now?
My advice would be try everything. This is your time. You have so much free time. You have so much at your fingertips if you just look for it and just willing to jump in. Just try it. This is the time to try and fail. Try and see what works, what doesn't, because there is that safety net. There is that's okay to, and it's okay to fail. Learning from failure is so good and has taught me also so much in my life. Just that what doesn't work sometimes is teaching you way more than what does, because if you're always just staying safe and staying in the sidelines and things just seem to be working just easy for you, sometimes you're just not learning. You're just becomes autopilot. So trying to shake things up and trying different things, trying different shows, go see the musical or that play that's around. Join the weird group that's going to throw a Halloween party in a forest. It might be fun and entertaining and take the stress out of being, you don't have to be a communication major. You could be a psych major. You could be a music major, whatever. It just gives you something that's outside of your comfort zone, outside of your realm of what your little bubble, So you might learn and find new people that will, you'll still talk to. They may help you in your career. I think that's my best advice. And then just go 2 feet forward.
That is really good advice. I think you may have a second career as a life coach.
There you go.
Done. I think it was my time as the producer of Lover Call. I had to talk some people off ledges,
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Well, I think we're kind of close to wrapping things up now. Is there anything else you would like to say or share before we do so?
No, just enjoy your time while you're here at Fredonia. It was my favorite 4 years, honestly. I really enjoyed it, and I really thank you guys for reaching out and doing this podcast. It seems like a fun time, and thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jack Croxton.
And I'm Chloe Kowalik, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Sing its glory and its praises. Let them ring forever true. Beloved is our alma mater, Fredonia State